Today I want to talk about a Vermont-based company that is over 170 years old that is being forced to lay off 8% of its staff. Let's dive right in. Our first article is from vtdigger.org, and the headline is Orvis, a Vermont-based outdoor gear and apparel company, to cut 8% of its workforce. And as always, I'll leave the articles I reference down in the description below so you can read the full thing for yourself. I'm just going to talk about the highlights and how it pertains to what we're talking about today. The article says that Orvis is in a period of business evolution that requires us to think differently. Over the course of our near 170-year history, the company has experienced similar cycles, but today's challenges are new, said company president Simon Perkins. Orvis, a 168-year-old Vermont-based company, said Friday it will lay off 112 workers, close some undisclosed retail locations, and discontinue its catalog to enable a smaller and more agile business. Orvis is in a period of business evolution that requires us to think differently. Over the course of our nearly 170-year history, the company has experienced similar cycles, but today's challenges are new, and they require us to be bold in order to continue sharing stories, experiences, and products that inspire our customers well into the future, company president Simon Perkins wrote in a statement. The pending layoffs represent 8% of the company's workforce. Orvis was founded by Charles F. Orvis in Manchester in 1856 and makes and sells fishing and hunting gear. The company announced in January that it was moving its headquarters from Sunderland to Manchester as it sought to shrink its footprint in response to a new hybrid work environment. A spokesperson for the company, Laura Schaefer, said Friday that 50 positions within driving distance of our headquarters have been impacted by the reduction in force. She said no additional details were available, including the types of jobs being cut, where the positions are based, or when the cuts will occur. We are not able to provide more detail at this time, Schaefer said. Perkins said impacted employees will receive 2 months of full pay and benefits, additional severance pay, and assistance with health insurance and job transition services. The people we are saying goodbye to have made indelible impacts on the brand, their colleagues, and the lives of our customers. We are investing the time, care, and resources needed to honor and support them throughout this process. Perkins said that impacted employees will receive 2 months of full pay and benefits, additional severance pay, and assistance with health insurance and job transition services. So yeah, it's definitely a smaller organization than a PricewaterhouseCoopers, but it's still very nice to see if a company is struggling, they're trying as best they can to help out their former employees. Out of all the layoffs that we've talked about in the past couple of months, I mean, we haven't read anything, I don't think, where it's talked about the company providing transition services, right? Where they'll help you try to land a new job, maybe reach out to other similar organizations, maybe help you out with a resume. I mean, that's a lot of times what transition services do. So if they're truthful in that, I mean, that's super helpful. And then another thing that people worry about is health insurance. I mean, health insurance without a job is extremely expensive in the US. And even if you get COBRA, I think that's only, 2 or 3 months or something like that. But isn't it like, $2,000 a person? I don't know the exact things. I'm just going off of rough memory. Let me know down in the comments what it really is. But I know that it's way more expensive than what they would deduct from your paycheck at your organization. So there's really not a lot of good options with health insurance if you're just laid off and you can't find a new job right away. And then 2 months of full pay. I mean, we've seen maybe some more months of full pay from other bigger organizations, but I got to imagine that's still a good amount of money for them. So at least that's something. 2 months of pay and benefits. I guess some people will get additional severance pay based off of how long they've worked in the organization. At least they're trying, according to this report, not to leave them out high and dry. The people we are saying goodbye to have made indelible impacts on the brand, their colleagues, and the lives of their customers. And that's a nice thing for them to say, because we've read CEOs and they talk about how their employees are underperforming, or even worse, they say 60% of the people they let go are underperforming. And that's at least nice of them to say in the official statement, as opposed to saying that they're just basically trimming the fat. And then they also say, we are investing the time, care, and resources needed to honor and support them throughout this process. Orvis claims to be the oldest mail order retailer in the US. It was purchased in 1965 by Lee Perkins, who is credited with building it into one of the country's largest supporting lifestyle brands. Simon Perkins is the third generation of the Perkins family to run the company. A New York Times obituary for Lee Perkins noted the company was sending out catalogs before the Civil War and predated Sears Roebuck by more than 20 years. Yeah, because to me, that was the main catalog that I had heard of, was the Sears catalog. So this was a mail order company that is 20 years older than Sears. Michael Harrington, Vermont's labor commissioner, said Friday the state will work with the company to ensure impacted employees are aware of unemployment benefits and other services. So it seems like even the politicians in Vermont are helping out and trying to guide the people who are going to be laid off into other avenues for work. But Orvis is not the only outdoor retail company that has been going through a little bit of layoffs. So I have another article here from flyfisherman.com, and the headline is, two major fly fishing companies announce workforce reductions. And it says that both Orvis, who we were just speaking about, and Patagonia recently disclosed layoffs as part of broader restructuring efforts. And it says, two major fly fishing and outdoor brands recently announced layoffs as part of broader restructuring efforts. The Orvis company announced that it is cutting 8% of its workforce, amounting to 112 employees. And then it goes on to talk about information that we discussed from the previous article. But then it says also, Patagonia, the California-based outdoor apparel and gear company, is cutting 41 jobs and approximately 1% of its workforce as part of an internal restructuring. Cuts were across almost all teams and headquarters, Patagonia communications manager Corey Simpson said. And the shifts in new roles are to help create more focus around product, storytelling, and impact. Patagonia's restructuring aims to enhance its focus on product development, storytelling, and environmental impact. While some new roles are being created, the company acknowledged the need to say goodbye to several employees, offering them severance and transitional support. Both companies cite evolving business needs and external economic challenges as key drivers. The news comes on the heels of the announcement that Vista Outdoors, the parent company of Simms Fishing Products, has reached an agreement to sell the outdoor product segment, named Revelist, in 2022, of its brand portfolio to an investment firm, pending a shareholder vote to sell its other segment. So recently on this channel, we talked about a startup that was going to have to lay off all of its employees and lay off, I think it was about 130 people, even though they raised over $200 million in funds. And now today we're talking about a company that's 170 years old, a company that was selling catalogs 20 years before even Sears, which I thought was the most interesting fact about the history of the company. So it doesn't really matter, unfortunately, in 2024 whether the organization you work for is just a startup or it's a company that's been around forever. Many companies are struggling to stay afloat and keep their staffing of Americans. Let me know what you think about this news down in the comments below. Talk to you later.